Okay, so now when it comes to the Atlanta that we have now, though, man.
Yeah.
When you started to see the artists pass in the city, man, as an OG recalling, so because what people don't understand, there's a plaque on this wall right here.
Right.
Half the people on the song are dead or in jail.
Oh my God.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me right there when I see that.
It should be.
That's a whole generation that was supposed to, carry the torch that has been extinguished. And I don't know if anybody recognizes it. I think folks are starting to feel it now.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I hate to say it, Atlanta was carrying hip hop too.
Yep.
When Atlanta ain't got nothing to show, then guess what? It ain't no #1 song in hip hop this year.
Wow, that is true.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But Atlanta don't show up, then it's over.
Right.
How do you feel when you see where it's progressed to, man?
It's heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
To watch these young artists get on, spend all their money and time and effort, make the money that they've been working hard for, getting the accolades that they've been working hard for, invested in their craft the way they've been working for, and then to be, untimely killed or murdered or cancer, whatever's the problem with it. It's heart-wrenching to watch it, bro. And that's another reason why I'm coming back musically. I think that our kids are not connected to the OGs the way they should be. I think that our kids aren't seeing an example of what money could look like when it's in its latter stages of life. We equate youth with making brand new grooves or brand new sounds, when in actuality, music is not a physical thing, it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
And as long as the person or persons have the ability to make fantastic grooves, they should. And I think that for me, I have been neglecting the city in a major, very egregious way, where I need to bring my butt back.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching our kids go through this type of trauma. And it goes back to the reason why they're going through this type of trauma is because their fans have total access to them at all times. And a lot of times you don't need to be having total access to your fans, and your fans don't need to have total access to you, right? Because what happened is that your creativity begins to get very mute because you're trying to appease people that you can't appease. If you got millions and millions of people following you and watching you all the time, it creates something called narcissism. And that inner look at yourself all day kind of creates a glass ceiling for you.
Yeah.
And it can become very volatile in a space where you start to believe that you're either A, the greatest thing since sliced cheese, or the worst thing since corrosion. And to watch kids go through that, you got to realize artists already are not getting trained in any kind of accounting schools, classes where they can learn about the math and the numbers and the money they're making. They're not going through any kind of A&R situation where there's a person's telling them, hey, man, this is what you should do. You should do this. You shouldn't do that. Don't go down there, man, because it's crazy. Don't go over here because it's crazy. And a lot of these cats, man, they say they from the hood, but some of them ain't. A lot of them are, but some of them ain't, right? And they putting up things that ain't real.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure that if you're not a gangster, you're not the type of person that has that life, why don't you make music the way you are as a person? I think the reality of what it is that watching these kids go through what they're going through, man, it's a lot of PTSD going on in our community right now, a lot of it. And we're watching kids go through it at an early age, which they shouldn't be, when they should be having a good time, going on spring break, enjoying life, not having somebody in their ear all day, learning about lessons of life, falling down, getting up.
Yeah.
This is what the problem is in our community, that our kids are growing up way too fast. They're starting to see things way too quickly. Yeah. And now they're starting to grow up when they shouldn't be. You know, and it's like a chicken being hatched in 3 days. Yeah. It's not going to be the healthiest chicken you eat.
Hell no.
That's the same way with our kids. Our kids are growing up in a fast, rapid way that they're not being able to adjust to the world coming at them, you know, and watching these kids, like even looking at that board up there, watching some of those guys up there that are passed or in jail or in spaces they shouldn't be in because someone didn't sit down and have a good heart-to-heart with them and tell them that they are special, that they are something great. And it's okay to fall down. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to do this. And that's the problem, that our kids are not being able to adjust to things in a way that other people are.
Yeah.
Be quite honest with you.
For you, Bone, you done helped so many folks coming up in the game. Who mentored you and gave you some of the game along the way, man?
A little bit of everybody, man. You know, my grandparents. I listen to some of my peers too, man. Like I listen to Toomp. I listen to Jazzy, my woman. You know, I listen to a lot of people. I read a lot of books. Right now, I'm reading a book by Curt Flood called "A Well-Paid Slave," and it's about he's the guy that started the disruption of the Major League Baseball, which in turn created free agency for all athletes. And I found a lot of him inside of me. And you know, I'm reading that now. But I've also you know, Maynard Jackson, Andrew Young, John Lewis, Alley Pat.
Break down that well-paid slave to me, though, man. What was it that you could identify with in that book?
Well, I just think that Mr. Flood, he understood that he was not going to be always. He's not a person that's going to be a slave to the system. When someone tells you got to move, you got to move. He said, "Oh no, I'm not doing that. I like where I'm at." That's like somebody coming here right now and say, "B.I.
come on,
it's time for you to move now." You're like, "Hey man, wait a minute, man. I like it here."
Exactly.
You know, and that's where the energy of being able to make your own choices as a human is essential. That's why I think it gravitated with me so much, that the fact that he made so much fuss and he created such a uproar in the fact that to make others that were like him, which is us, of the same color, say, "Hey man, listen, this is just a new way of treating us like way they want to treat us. You want to take us and move us where you want to move us. You want to take us and shackle us and take us and boot over. No, I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sue the league." So that's what he did. He got himself in a position. He was a very smart brother. He sued him and told him, "Hey man, I'm not going nowhere. I want to go where I want to go." And that's the reason why we have free agency right now.
It's crazy.
Because of Curt Flood.